news again that we might be getting Spawn again. Yeah, it seems like a yearly thing at this point, right?
Yeah, it
But
does.
a little bit more interesting because I think the Jason Blum from Blumhouse said that they're gonna be taking on that movie. I don't know if they're gonna do Todd McFarlane because supposedly he wrote the story and he wants to direct it. Which I was like, yeah, leave it to the professionals, my dude. Like, you made a great character, and the comics are awesome, but leave the big movie.
The movie before was good. I mean,
it was good, but I don't think he was that much of a part of it. At least
I don't think he was too involved, right?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but it's been a while. But this is a per Screen Rant that Jason Blum is bringing the Blumhouse edge to the upcoming Spawn film adaptation. You know, so he said it's going to be an edgy superhero movie. You know, which sounds like what Spawn should be, right? I mean, he's a demon dude that's fighting the devil. So
under Blum, I could see it getting actually under Blum, I could actually picture it seeing the light of day rather than McFarlane. McFarlane's been talking about this movie pretty much as far back as shortly after the first one came out.
Yeah.
He's been talking about this for the better part of like 30 decades it's coming up on, which is crazy to think about. Blum has a lot more juice, a lot more Hollywood influence than McFarlane has. Let's be real about it. So yeah, under him, I could actually see it happening. I'm wondering if Jamie Foxx would still be attached to play Spawn. Still trying to picture that, much as I love Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Still trying to picture him as Al Simmons.
Yeah, it'll be cool, but I think find somebody different.
I mean, you could always bring back Michael Jai White.
I was if you're gonna do a 55-year-old black man, Michael Jai White.
Michael Jai White still looks the exact same as he did back then.
Exactly. He's like,
another person.
I agree.
Another person, if they weren't to bring back Michael Jai White, Trevante Rhodes would be awesome from Moonlight and The Predator. He was in Bird Box. I'd be good with him. Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
I think Yahya would be what we're looking at.
Yeah,
I guess.
But yeah, I'd be curious to see it. And a Spawn movie has to be like super grim too. Like it has to be like, edgy's a good way of putting it. So he did kind of use the right words, as long as he doesn't necessarily mean it in like that kind of juvenile, easy to use fashion.
I just don't need that with. I don't need that with Blade. Also, like I don't need every time Blade comes out, I need Spawn. I don't need it every single time.
Yeah,
like come on.
I didn't even think about that.
We'll throw Blade out there. Hey, let's do Spawn. I don't need that being the only two black characters every time you gotta do that. Nah, I'm good.
That is funny. I didn't even think about that.
Well, the original Spawn was like a year before Blade, right?
It was
97.
It's always in the same time. Like it's every single time. Like let's do 97, 98. Like it just seems like they have to be mentioned together. I just never thought why.
And it's kind of weird this time because they're if they come out around the same time, they're both victim of circumstance because Blade has been delayed so many times, plagued by production problems, quitting directors, the script being rewritten. This is just a production that has spent decades failing to get off the ground.
It's going to be the thing that you're going to say, hey, let's do this. And then you say, well, the original person could still do the same. He still be the actor. It's just like, well, it's just like to still be Blade. It's just like, Michael Jai White can still be Spawn.
That's funny.
30 years later.
My God. Yeah, seriously. Michael Jai White is not a bad one. As much as I would like that, I wouldn't want that. I would maybe give it to somebody new.
Yeah, it's time for like someone new.
Cameo, 100% cameo. He needs to be in the movie somewhere. But yeah. Yeah.
I hate to tell you here, but I just when I don't like when black superheroes, and that's all we get. And then after what we got with
Black
Panther, it's hard for me to say that because I probably shouldn't be the one, because you know what happens when I say Black Panther, all things come up. But with Black Panther, being only getting an hour and 30 minutes of screen time in this huge universe, and you want to get we want a black character, let's give you dead ones, and there are anti-heroes, and not it's just I won't tap out.
I get what you're saying. I guess is it once you move past that and you get into literal royalty and kings, it's hard to like put that back in the box. Like it's almost like going backwards. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
It's just like I didn't get my full of the greatest black character of all time. And they were like, hey, I have an idea.
I know what you want.
All right.
You want Blade again?
I'm like, come get me. I'm out. Check, please.
Yeah.
I'm out. I can't do this anymore.
But I would say, Blade is a whole nother conversation, but I would say with this one is once one thing is done in a certain like genre or a topic or around certain things, then everyone starts doing copycats. I'm not saying Blade is a copycat, but it's also Black Panther was done, obviously $1 billion movie. It like was just a big event. And I'm sure Image comments like, hey, we got a black superhero. It's like, yeah, it's different, but at that point it doesn't matter. Like film studios and stuff were like, okay, yeah, cool, let's do that too. Like let's jump on that train. So I feel that's what it kind of is a little bit, but also especially with Wakanda Forever being out and all of the chat that people are still talking about it, especially the recasters.
It's not even that. It's like the fact that as a person, Simmons was still assassin, like a bad person who went to hell. Like we're talking about a black vampire who it's a vampire. Like why does that have to be my black superhero? And that's what you want to give me? Where's Chill when I need him?
I get why Todd McFarlane obviously wants to push it. It's his creation. It's his character. I think it's definitely his baby.
I definitely can't fault the man for wanting his baby to be done justice. If it gets made and it gets made under him, and and he does it justice, I'd be good with that. But I think like the bottom line is he's just been and I'm not saying like just throw in the towel or give up if you're passionate about something, but he's just been talking a big game about this movie getting made for so long.
Yeah.
It's like
he wants to do it. He wants to write it. He wants to direct it, which is kind of like I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's like, it's like Dre's Detox album. Is it ever going to see the light of day?
I love you. With all the love of my heart, I gotta say that is awesome, man.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. Every time you see Spawn, when you talk about the drawings and the art style of what that could be and how it looks, even when you had Spawn versus Batman, those were some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I have to get all the variants of all that. When you go into the indie area, King Spawn is still it. It's
kind of what
huge. We have 4 runs at the same time always.
Yeah, it's like the king of the indie runs.
It really is.
I'd love to see it happen. I think it's really high time for a Spawn reboot. And I'll never forget when McFarlane was trying. You guys probably know this. Originally, McFarlane was to write the sequel to the Michael Jai White movie that was proposed, which kind of slowly evolved into this. And I don't remember if it was like Starlog magazine or maybe it was like Cinescape or something like that. If anyone collected Cinescape magazine when you were a kid, remember they had that section where they would talk about like upcoming movies and stuff like that. Um, I want to say it was I want to say it was then like I'll never forget like McFarlane said he wanted to make the movie R-rated, and it was going to be along the lines of Seven. It was going to focus more on Sam and Twitch with Spawn as a background character, which actually kind of to me would have been kind of cool because a lot of the comics were like that. Would have been an interesting take. And even the animated series, there were episodes that were kind of like that, where Sam and Twitch were focused on, and then like Spawn was more in the background. That would have been an interesting take. But I'm just curious to see if this ever happens, man.
I know. We've been talking about it forever. Like I said, every year it comes up. It's like, oh, these guys are going to make it. Oh, these guys are going to make it. Oh, these. I mean, now Blumhouse.
Maybe Blumhouse, under Blumhouse, it'll get off the ground because he's when it comes to horror and how much stuff does Blumhouse crank out yearly?
Mm-hmm.
So it might actually happen this time, which would be cool.
Yeah.
I just want to see it happen correctly.
It's just so hard. It's just so hard. I mean. It's trying to separate it. I mean, how long can you be talking about this same thing? From the 97-99 run was awesome. Really, it really was. 97-99 run was just incredible. And I just don't think this is the climate that I really want this in right now.
Okay.
That's for me. I don't think this is the climate because of all the things we've had recast and what we had with Black Panther and all those other things. I don't know if this is the climate. And I think that's what studio heads are actually saying to him. Todd McFarlane's like, it's a great character. It's the greatest thing ever. And he's right. But they're saying, I don't know if I want the backlash.
I don't think so. I think it might be because I think studios don't think like that. They just think like they see very superficial stuff.
I think you won't make money. I think the studios are saying the backlash is going to cause me not to make money. If it was going to be backlash and it was going to make money, who gives a crap? Obviously, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. But I think they think they will make money because they're like, oh, what does everybody want? Like, oh, a black superhero. Okay, here you go. But it's like they don't studios don't think anything besides very superficial stuff. They've always done that too.
I don't think that this is a big enough character for them to say that this is going to make money off of it. I don't think that. I think that's why they're holding off. Because if they did, it would have been made in 2000. It would have been made in 2010. It would have been made in 2020.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think he's not big enough as well known as like somebody like Black Panther or stuff like comic book people know who he is, and people might remember the movie, but that's about it. What about Blank Man? Yeah, let's see. same thing. So,
don't hurt me. I don't
even... yeah. But I mean that's why they may be like scraping at the bottom of the barrel. It's like, what do we have in our lineup? And like no one's got Image. Let's get an Image comment. Because I mean they did that in the early, Batman was super big, Superman was super big, and then what do they do? Let's make Rocketeer. It was like, what? It's like that's the stupidest fucking idea ever, But to them it was genius, because like let's
Jennifer Connelly in that movie though.
Yeah, I mean I enjoyed it. I thought it was a super bad, great movie. If that makes any sense.
Very, very.
But that's what they go for.
Yeah,
they think things are gonna do well because they're in that same area where like, oh, comic books are doing good right now. Everyone is talking about they want a black superhero. All right, boom, like here it is. But it's like, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. But they don't see it like that. The nuance is very, they don't see nuance. They just see the titles kind of thing. I don't know, because I don't give a lot of that credit to studios. I mean, like you said, it is money, but to them, I think they think it could make money.
I don't know.
And I think I completely agree with you though, Brian. I think right now is not the best time to do that. Especially after we already got T'Challa and stuff like that, and there's still a lot of need and want to get that type of black superhero. on screen.
I'm not saying the backlash. If they thought the backlash would be enough to get talking enough of it, they would do it. I think that they think the backlash will only pour water on it, and it's already a hard enough character to get off the ground with the backlash of it. I think that they think it won't be strong enough. Some people are like, oh, that's a great idea, and then the other people are like, yeah, this is probably not right because we're going to split the small thing we already have. And the people that actually want to go see it probably still won't go see it because of it.
Yeah.
Like me, I would feel conflicted and probably wouldn't go do it, wouldn't support it to a point where it would make me angry enough if they did the wrong way and make me angry enough to I would just start boycotting everything. And I'm going to try and push whatever I could to boycott it. Like, not even because I don't like the character, because I have, if I talk about how many comic books I have, I probably got 80 comic books of Spawn. Like, it's a lot. It's a good.
You bought every variant. Legit.
It's for real. Like, it's a good character though. Like, I've got King Spawn. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get that. Cleve said, if not a movie, why not do a show on Max? They could.
That wouldn't, maybe.
I think Spawn might work better as a show.
Yeah.
The animated one was awesome. But do live action, I think that do well.
Talk about comic books and how many stories that keeps on coming. Comic book. What is a comic book really? It's a show.
Yeah.
It might be better as that. I agree.
Yeah. Or make it a Halloween type vibe movie. Nah. Because I think you would, if you do just Halloween type vibes, you might miss out on what the character is
really about.
Yeah. And I think being a show, you might be able to really flesh out and get deep into some of these things that makes him, a good, just really interesting comic book character. About the Spawn possibly coming back with it now. I really didn't even think about all the stuff Brian brought up. So that's definitely a different take than I thought about. So they've definitely changed my view on, do I want this character out right now? Because that is something to think about.